I'll give it a second. Hello, sound. Hello, everyone. Mi amores. Hola, mi amores. This is a great afternoon. Memorial Day weekend. Are you all out and ready for that grilling? I'll be putting up my grilling this weekend. It's a balmy 46 here in the mountains, actually. Can you guys hear me? All right. Great. Hola, mi amores. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Most of us got 3-day weekend going on, some 4, some 5, some no. Oh well. If you're living in the States, happy Memorial weekend. We start partying as of yesterday when you get out of work or if you've taken work off. Hi, IAAH Radio Plus. I'm just Desire for Knowledge. Welcome to my show every Saturday at 3. Know Your Truth, Real Talk. And I'm glad you all are here. Please like, subscribe, and share. All right. Next week will be my legal affairs, and we'll talk about that later. So, mi amores, I am your host with the most, Judge Desire for Knowledge. Thanks for joining my show here on YouTube and IAAH Radio Plus, listening in, tuning in there. Thank you so much. And so this week, this episode is some steamy stuff. Actually, it's not that steamy, but it is very important for those who don't understand. So please, I hope you got your popcorn already. Did you guys get your popcorn? All right. I hope so, because this title alone will get you going. Love, lust, and toxic behaviors when you allow lust and sex to control your relationships. And most of us, some of us, I don't know which way you want to put it, we do allow it at some point until you learn the lessons. You're young, naive, whatever the case may be, you may have at some point in your life done this. So here's where sex runs the relationship. If the best thing in your relationship, of course, let me just say this, is what happens in the bedroom, then you need this. If that's it for you, then you need to hear this. So join me now and come and hear what I got to say about it. Please feel free to leave your comments if you can't hear on YouTube, if you choose to, but decent, mature girl, men and women comments, please. We do not invite boys and girls here. Go watch my show on boys and girls, people that never grow up. We're here to learn together, thrive together, vibe together. So make sure that's what you're doing with me, because that's what my channel is about. All right, guys? I love you all anyway. So let's start with getting uncomfortable for a moment, all right? Because some of you all aren't in relationships. Your arrangements is actually with benefits and bad judgment. And some of us has been there more than once, right? And some of us, if it was once or never, good for you. God bless you. And that's a great thing because you've learned the lessons and you won't repeat it again, hopefully. So the core truth about this all is really that sex is powerful. But when it becomes the steering wheel of your life, of your relationship, everything else crashes. So remember that when you think, oh yeah, that's everything I'm there for. That's why, lust goes alongside with sex, because when you're lusting after something, what comes next? All right. And sometimes that could be the worst nightmare of all. You ignore the red flags because the chemistry is hot. The chick or the dude looks hot. That's enough for some people. Yeah, not all of us. Us mature and grown people. It takes a lot of more than that, right, folks? This sounds like some little boy, little girl action here, but we're not on that show. Go check that episode out and you'll understand. I believe it was last week. Come down and check that out on YouTube and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get back to our subject. If you forgive disrespect because the makeup sex is amazing, yeah, that's the same thing. You confuse attachment with addiction. By the way, both are bad. Attachments and addictions are both bad. But when you confuse the two, it's just as bad. And suddenly you're loyal to someone who cannot even text you consistently. They can't text you back consistently. Now, we're not talking about people that you just all day, I want to hear from this person text. We're talking about like you out there, hi, how you doing in your text, and you expect a response back. I mean, if you're overly doing it, someone's not going to respond. But we're talking about someone that doesn't even give you the respect to text back, okay? Not consistently in a bad way, okay? So don't go there. Can you hear me out there? All right, good. Now, when it comes to dating, good sex can bring bad decisions. Dating today, people out here doing some full relationship things off part time behaviors, which is really why we have to check ourselves a lot. Sorry, guys. I had to check my phone. I turned it off. We have to check ourselves a lot and see if this is what we do. You know, you met them Tuesday, right? Thanks for answering. You met them Tuesday. By Friday, you're emotionally invested. You know, that's like a little bit too quick. You don't even know if you're with a murderer or a criminal of some sort, and you're already invested emotionally. So be careful with that. That's what lust and sex does, by the way. Sex. Lust and sex usually does that. And so this is why it's important that we don't confuse the two. I mean, it's no confusion. Lust draws you to sex, sex draws you to lust, whichever way, vice versa. But by Sunday, if you're explaining their behavior to your friends, I mean, that's really ridiculous. By Friday you're explaining your behaviors to your friends like you're their public defender, then you know something's wrong with the relationship. Because if your friends see it and you're defending them like you're the public defender for them, then that right there is a red flag for me. And I've seen that in the courtrooms where I see it a lot. I won't say here on this show, but this is the reason for me bringing these shows as well. Part of the reasons I said, and I'll say it again and keep saying it, life experiences, work experiences, general experiences, and some people's personal experience will come on my show without utilizing people's names, because how else are you going to learn except from experiences of other people, yourself, where your work ethics are, where you're working at, whatever the case may be. You're going to learn from that. And so I continue to build content around that and put it together. So here, the whole time the relationship is being held together for four things. That's really important, that this is not one of those things that your relationship is held on, because you will become a public defender for someone that's not worth defending. These four things are attraction, sex, lust, and lack of standards. And that's when it becomes toxic. That's when relationships get toxic. So we're just going to skip over right now and we're going to go to marriages when sex becomes currency. Because, you know, dating and relationships, it starts at dating. Sometimes it leads directly to marriage, or maybe not, but in the near future. So if this is the case and you know that you're going to be marriage minded, then you should not even think of having this before. But today's people, they skip over that. Everyone has choices. No one can make that choice for you, but sometimes our decision makes it for us. We get in a bad place by making these decisions ahead of our marriages. If you're not looking for marriage, that's different. But be very careful when you are getting married that you haven't been with everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Sue, Lou, and Boo, or whatever, because it's really important for that person to respect you, right? I would think so. So, with that being said, let's go to marriage. When sex becomes currency, that's horrible, but it does. Now, let's talk about it, because this is where it gets strategic. When sex becomes a reward system, you're not a partner, you're not in a partnership, you're in a negotiation. So that's not where you want to be at. But you act right, you get access, right? You didn't do what I wanted, no affection for you. You know, this is the type of things that happen in actual marriages. I've seen it. I was I tend to go around all parts of the court, transfers, stuff like that, either through promotions or just transferring out to find out and learn new things. And I'm glad I've done. I spent a little time about training, about a month in matrimonial court, and I did see this a lot where they come up with this negotiation in a partnership, or at least it ends that way. So that's very, very harmful, toxic way to be, but it's real. It's in real time. So be careful. All right, when you do take these steps, I think while you're in the dating phase, you'll get to know exactly what it is that you need to do there before you run off to something that's not going to be worth marrying. Because when you do, you end up breaking up either within a few months, less than a year. Some people, that's a long time and realize, wait, now I want to say I made a mistake, but I'm going to still take your money. But that's another show. Anyway, you messed up, you're cut off. This is what people do in the negative. You behave and now you get attention. See, if you mess up, you get cut off. Cut off sex is what I'm talking about, okay? Because that's what controls these toxic relationships. If you behave, oh, now you get my attention. Thanks for behaving. Make that make sense. I mean, really? That's not intimacy. That's a hostage situation. So be careful of that. Leading yourself into situations where you're the hostage. All right. That actually means that someone has control over you whenever they want to because you allowed it. So be careful. Now, in a healthy marriage, sex is a connection, all right? Not control. But you don't use connections as a weapon. You use it as a bridge to bridge each other, to move forward, to move upward. It takes a lot of work in marriages. So if you can't get through dating, ladies and gentlemen, please do not take a major step, okay? You have to mature in dating first before you can move up. I had to learn that. Everyone's gonna have to learn it. I'm not special except to myself, um, and other certain people. But either way, um, it's for everyone. All right, so do it accordingly. Now, I wanted to talk about this other subject that we know about. Let's go back, way back, not way back, but let's go to the past. How about exes? Why you keep going back? Hmm? You guys got reasons, ladies, guys? Why? Let's be honest. Half of you aren't really missing your ex. You're missing how they've made you feel physically. That's the lust and the sex part. Whatever erotic way they treated you or dressed or do, that's what you remember. Because you did break up for valid reasons. Nothing changed. But one late night, you up text and suddenly you forgot everything. You up? Oh shoot, let me text him back or let me text her back. You done forgot everything this person did to you, right? Don't say you didn't. I see it in the courthouse all the time. The one you said you were done with, blocked, deleted, I see it in child support court. I see it in matrimony. I've seen it everywhere. So don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. But somehow your exes seem to keep respawning like a video game after being eliminated. Now, once you're eliminated, unless it's something special to come back to, I mean, it wasn't very harmful. I'm not saying there's no way that it won't be reconciliation or anything with people, but like with whom? Like, check out what was done to you first. Have some self worth about yourself before you do check back in with someone that you think you can rekindle with. All right, it's very important because you may be getting gaslit and played. So that's going on a lot. Yeah, it's sad, but it's true. And you know who do those things? Little boys and little girls. Those aren't mature adults. Little kids do that. Play people all day long. And every time you go back, it's like reloading an app that already crashed on your phone. So remember that when you're doing the go backs, unless this situation is different from the circumstances I just said, it's not that much of a someone that has used you, abused your attention, um, took advantage of you. Then this is different. But when they have done this repeatedly, like the first time they met you, a second time, how much times do you need them to show you who they are? Let's just be real. Not me. I close doors. After I'm done with you. I'll forgive. But I move forward. I said this in another show. I don't even remember what you look like. That happened to me with my first marriage. I was young, long story short. I think I said this before, but I saw him on the bus and didn't even know who he was. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm a grown woman. I don't have time for little girl stuff, little boy stuff. This is you. You could play all you want, but when you grow up, you could come. Hello. That doesn't mean I'll date you by then. I'll be moved on already. You know what I'm saying? So I was pray and hope that other people utilize that too and say there's no time for games and playing and messing with other people's lives and ruining it, um, and thinking that's fun. It's not fun. You're a little kid. Grow up already. You know, it's time where people just get disgusted with all the games being played out here. Oh, and while I said that, please go watch my games people play videos. They're really good. Love yourself before you wreck yourself. Nice. I like that one. Very well said. Love yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah, exactly, because when you crash, that app crashed already. It's like an app crashing already. It crashed your phone, it crashed you. So emotionally, you need to get through that, and that's how you grow up. If you haven't, because that's not reconciliation, folks, that's nostalgia with bad decision making. So be really careful of that. We've all been there, most of us, not some of us. May have not. Good for you. Or maybe you don't need to be taught lessons. Maybe you good at everything. I hope so. It's not meant to be funny because that's nice. All right. Now let's go back when attraction becomes authority. Now let's get into it. When sex starts running the whole show, because attraction is very powerful, it'll have you ignoring things like you would normally um, have you running, right? Have you ever seen that? It will automatically have you ignoring things that would have you running anyway, but now you're not seeing it, all right? Making excuses for their behaviors, such as bad communication. Oh, but the chemistry is amazing. Disrespect. They didn't mean it like that. You know, things like this. Inconsistency. They're just busy. They're working. They'll get to me when they can. And that may be true, but if it's inconsistent all the time, that it's the same thing over and over, no, they're just not invested in you, baby. They're not invested. Whether it's a male or a female, be careful with that. They're not. Because when someone's invested, they'll give you the time. They'll be there for you. They'll communicate it to you. When sex becomes leverage, oof, that's even worse. Now let's shift it into long-term relationships and marriages, because this is where things get strategic and a little petty. All right. And what I mean by that is when sex becomes a reward or punishment system, something is definitely off. Like, for instance, you've seen this in long term, maybe on TV. Who knows? Maybe a family. Who knows? But you do see this now and then. You didn't buy me anything. No sex for you. They start acting different. They may not say it this way, but what? You didn't buy me anything? It doesn't have to be an occasion, or it is an occasion. Now, we're talking about long term relationships and marriages here now. Did you buy me something? Now, you deserve love because you bought me this. That's not intimacy. That's a point system. So once someone gets used to you always buying something and now you get the love you deserve, be careful with that. All right? Or you didn't buy me, no sex for you, or no attention for you, or whatever the case may be. That's not good. That leads to red flags. And when you lead to red flags, sometimes you can get romanticized by red flags. That's the next subject. Red flags you romanticized, okay? And what I mean by that is, let's talk about the red flags some of you turned into love stories that weren't really love stories, but you made it that. You know about that one? They're jealous because they care about me. Or one of those, they beat me because they love me. You've seen those in domestic violence. Go watch my domestic violence videos as well on legal affairs. I got someone, maybe two up there about it. They only act like that when they're passionate about me. We fight hard because we love hard. No, baby girl, baby boy. No, you fight hard because nobody knows how to communicate. And that's the problem. Jealousy is not love, it's insecurity with a loud voice. And passion, Passion doesn't just mean chaos all the time. Some people think that that's what it is. You see the guys and girls in the street arguing all the time in front of everybody, whole wide world. Sometimes it can happen, but consistently the same people, that's their whole life. Have you ever met that couple that their whole life is chaotic? That no matter where they go, they're always arguing. And if you know them anyway, or don't know them, sometimes it's your neighbors. Yeah, if your relationship feels like a reality show, it's probably not healthy, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say boys and girls, because these are the ones that stage these shows. Actually, I'm not saying it's a show, but you come to think, why embarrass yourselves? It's horrible. Go home, talk it out in a reasonable manner. If you can't handle it and you're yelling with chaos and all of that, do it in your home. I don't condone hitting. Talking it out and explaining yourselves and listening to one another is really cool. But if you can't, please don't put your hand on anyone or pick up knives and guns. It's never worth it. It's not respectable for you or the person. I've seen this in the courts without the weapons because we check you before you come in, but where it's so chaotic. The love has come to hate. At some point, there was a lot of lust and sex there, and now because of it, it has turned into a toxic relationship. Um, and that's sad because most of you fall in love or like the person enough. I mean, do you give yourselves up to people you don't like? I don't know, but that's another story. Like this comment here, love yourself before you wreck yourself. That's really cool. I like that. I might make a t-shirt on that, with just desire for knowledge on the front. People like talking their business, thinking things will change. Yeah. And we're tired of seeing some of your business displayed in the courthouses, on the streets, in the subways. It's sickening. At some point, you're embarrassing yourselves. Like I say on every video, your business are in the streets. I'll just keep it like that for the street ones. The people that like street lingo that want me to speak like that, but I won't because it's not proper. I'll leave that for when it is. But let's expose the lies we tell ourselves. All right. They're intense because they love deeply. They love me deeply. They get jealous because they care. These are all lies we tell ourselves. Okay. They're intense because they love deeply. Really? Why would I bring, or anyone bring chaos to a relationship and think that's intense? I mean, love. Ooh, they're hot and cold because they've been hurt before. Oh, you know those sad tales girls and guys tell each other when they meet each other, and then you find out, wait a minute, if this person was hurt this much, why would they want to hurt other people though? You ever thought of that? Because most of the time they do. Those are the same ones. They always come in with this storyline to pull you in, and then you find out they're one of them. But either way, don't fall for these traps. You got sold a dream and now you're stuck with the return policy. So don't forget that part. All right. When you get stuck on that dream, you get stuck with the return policy. They don't want you to return. I can't. You can't return it, folks. It's already done. You have allowed it. You've blocked out the flags, the red flags. People like talking their business, thinking things will change. Oh, okay, I said that already. So now we're gonna come up to the reality check. If sex is the strongest part of your relationship, you don't have a strong relationship. I'm just gonna have to tell you. Um, you have a strong distraction. Take sex out of the equation for 30 days, all right? 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. If there's nothing left to talk about, laugh about, or build, you weren't in love. You were just busy. You were just keeping busy, and that's it. That's why lust and sex goes together, because if that's all you got going on, then you don't have a relationship at all. Definitely not. If the strongest thing in your relationship is physical attraction, you don't have a strong relationship. I just wanted to tell you, you again have a strong distraction. Take that part away from for a few minutes. What's left? When that person doesn't look the same way. I've seen this a lot of times where things happen to people, they don't look the same anymore. We all age, or God forbid, got fat, or wheelchair bound, whatever. And I've seen the person leave as soon as that. So that attraction doesn't last, right, ladies and gents? And that's who you know loves you. Because if they're ready to go right now, then they never loved you in the first place. So if there's nothing left, why stay there, right? Because that's what I was just explaining. If you have a strong relationship, you take that part away. Are they still there? Then you have a strong one. If they're not, you don't. You never did. That person was a fraud, a placeholder for the real deal that's coming in to your lives, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to be positive that there is someone out there. The thing about it is you got to take your time. You can't give it to everybody, but some of you will listen, some of you won't. That's on you. I'm just here not to advise, but to help you out with giving you some little, how do you say it? Consolation, because I don't want to give advice because that's not good. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a therapist or a love therapist or whatever, but based on the facts that I've seen these personally, witnessed it, life experience, work experiences, I figured I can bring this up and hopefully you'll understand. But what's left if you take that part away from your relationship, the physical attraction? What's left? A conversation, respect, consistency, emotional safety, or just silence and confusion? Because that's what you're going to want to think about. And if it is silence and confusion, here's the uncomfortable truth that all of you need to know. Some of you all got hypnotized by good chemistry and never recovered. You saw the red flags and said, "Ooh, decorative." Okay. Now you're explaining their behavior like you're in court, which normally most of you do. Explain, well, Your Honor, they didn't mean to disrespect me. Here, now you're picking up for them again. They were just stressed out. And I've seen this where it was order of protections, where they got hit. And this is some things that people say. Yeah, they're defending them. Yeah, be careful. Because you know what? They meant it. They just knew you would tolerate it. So you got to be careful if someone only shows up when it benefits them. You're not a partner. You're a convenient location with emotional amenities. And I've seen that as well happen to people where you're just a convenient um, person for that moment and that time, and they're on to the next and the next and the next, because people are like that and they're going to do what they want to do. That's their lives, their bodies, and you can't tell most people anything. So what you got to do is respect yourself, know your truth, right? Like this show, Know Your Truth, Real Talk. And in closing, let's just land this plane right now. Stop letting temporary feelings make permanent mistakes. Everybody wants chemistry, but nobody wants accountability. That's where we got to change it. Learn the difference between being desired and being valued, which I was just saying, right, folks? If they can control you with sex, they don't respect you. They manage you. Don't forget that, ladies and gents. That's real. You don't need more chemistry. You need more clarity, okay? And you don't need more attention. You need more consistency. That's what we need here. Consistency. Because I've had my exes, and oof, consistency was not their middle name. But and you definitely don't need another almost relationship. That's true, because I sure didn't. Teaching you the same lesson in a different outfit, just a different person, but it doesn't make sense. So, in my suggestion box, that's what I'm going to call it instead of advice. My suggestion to you all, not advice. I'm not that love therapist yet, but maybe one day, who knows, that could teach and help those so that they're not bamboozled by tricksters, narcissists, and manipulators. Because we've all been there once, and we should share our stories so that other people don't have to go through that. But either way, in my suggestion box, letting sex control your relationship backfires. This is just my little outlet. Um, Letting sex control your relationship backfires all the time, especially when you exchange energies with everyone you encounter. You've now slept with all the people they slept with, and vice versa. Piensa, piensa. What that means is think, don't allow lust and sex to control you, and that person knowing that it controls you is controlling you. Yeah, make that make sense. Be real to yourself. You are worthy. You are worth more than that. If that's all you are worthy of is sex, then anyone can replace you. They will replace you. You're not special in the bed. Believe me, I've seen and heard so many things about how people are, oh, they're the best, but they've been replaced. So you're not all that. You know, it takes a responsibility, maturity to be all that, not sex and not lust. All of those old energies get on you. Yep. And if you allow self worth, self love, self care, it'll become evident of your worth to yourself first and then to others. And they will respect you for it. Don't forget you can be replaced. Okay? I just said it here on Know Your Truth Real Talk. That if that's all you're worthy of is sex, lust, sex, then anyone can replace you. Okay? So please respect yourselves enough. Become evident of your worth to yourself first and then to others. And you'll get the respect you deserve. Now that's real talk. So I'm going to end it there. Have a happy Memorial Weekend. Mi amores. I will see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock for Legal Affairs. Not sure if I'm going live or not, but I hope to see you all there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Send this out to people that may need it. You know, young people too, all ages. It doesn't matter. But I'm bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, your host with the most, Judge Desire for Knowledge, is adjourned. All right. Have a great Memorial Weekend. Come check my grilling videos out. I'm doing a few days of grilling out here, no matter what the weather is. That's right. Go check the ones I've put up. I'm thinking of new menus this week. And I hope you all have a safe Memorial Weekend. Don't end up in the courtrooms. Please don't. I don't want to see you there next week, please. Don't drink and drive, okay? Because you will be arrested, definitely. They're checking everything. Let me just give you a heads up. Seat belts, whatever it is that they can pull you over every holidays. Go check my videos. It will tell you a heads up on stuff like that because I worked with the police in the beginning of my parts in the courts in an area that I had to work with police all day. So I know they told me and what to look for. Please, you don't have to drink and drive anyway. Your children need you. Your husband needs you. Your wife, your brother, your sisters, your mothers and fathers. So it's not worth it. Have that margarita when you drive in and park your car. All right, or whatever you drink. And I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you for shouting me out. You're for shouting me out. Great show. Thank you so much. Thank you, IAAH Radio Plus. I look forward to speaking with you all. Tune in next week for Legal Affairs. Thank you, DJ 5 a.m. Go check them out. All Genres is on IAAH Radio Plus. And house music, it's all about house, is on IAAH Radio. So go check them out, download the app, and tune in there. Thank you all with the best DJs. Check out DJ Bugging Heart as well on Tuesday, Thursdays. He's on Twitter, Mixcloud, and even on YouTube. So you can pull down DJ Bugging Heart's work there. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Mi amores. Blessings. Love and light. I'll see you next week. Ciao.